Alrighty, here we go. How's it going, everybody? I know this stream's a little bit late, but I really just want to play some Pokemon today. And, yeah. Nothing too crazy today, guys. I'm just playing Pokemon. Alrighty.
So, what's the plan?
Alrighty, so the plan is we're training our Pokemon to level 100. Just my Meloetta. Now this is a Pokemon that's almost level 100, but not quite there yet. So, let us play this, shall we? I do not remember where I last saved. Alrighty. So I did train my Blossom to level 100. In my last shiny hunting video, we caught this little girl here. And she's now officially level 100. Oh yes, she's looking great. So I did spread out her EVs to make her a bit more of a tankier build. So if you're wondering what the EV spreads are, I don't remember exactly what they were, but this little girl is meant to be built. But the one we're training today is our Meloetta. Yes, this one here, this is actually one of my favorites mythical Pokemon in the game. So let's get straight into it, shall we?
So, while we're at it, I'm gonna practice a little bit of voice narration. So, here we go to the 0 gate.
Alrighty, the 0 gates, here we come. I do gotta practice a bit of voice acting because, I gotta get into training, so from time to time, you're gonna hear this
deep voice, so, just don't mind it. So, they're great.
Wow, this sounds kind of cringy, but I hope it doesn't bother people too much now. People do say the voice is pretty smooth. Both of my voices. My default normal voice.
And this voice. But, to each their own. I'm not one to judge.
And I think I actually turned down the volume on this, so... Alright. There it goes. Now we turn off the volume. And let's actually turn back up the background music. Yes. So I'm going to be training here in Area 0. And this place has some of the best Pokemon OSTs of all time. I just love this music. I'm sorry. This background music is so soothing. Oh, it sounds like something you hear in Nier Automata. It's just crazy. Where's our Meloetta? There she is. Alrighty. So I don't really have any plans but to just keep it very simple for our training today. Alrighty. And our goal is to get Meloetta to level 100. Now, this might actually sound surprising, but I was training this Blossom to level 100 the other day, and we actually found a shiny Pokemon. Well, not on stream. I was training off stream, obviously, but where are you? Hold up. We actually did caught a shiny. Where is it? It was a very beautiful shiny, but I think it was this one here. Yep, it was this one here. We caught a shiny Zweilous, or Zweilous. But the thing is that I already have a lot of these. I think I have 5 of these now. So I have one here, and let's see if I can find the others. Yeah, I think I have one here, and one here, and I think this one here is also a shiny. So that's 4 shinies that we already have. And I actually love is it Zweilous or Zweilous? I think it's Zweilous. But I really love this Pokemon. This is actually my favorite pseudo-legendary, believe it or not. So Zweilous actually evolves a Hydreigon, this thing here. God, what a beast. This is probably one of my favorite pseudo-legendaries. Literally, like, awesome. You're never too old for Pokemon, guys. Never too old. Alrighty, but here we are, back to training. And this one has a booster energy. Probably boosts his attack. Yep, attack was heightened. Alrighty, Meloetta, let's get straight into this. I love this place, man. This is probably the best area in the entire Pokemon game. Because I get to listen to music and enjoy myself quite a bit.
Ah, yes, Pokemon. What an amazing world. Filled with mystery. And also, that of many great things. Meloetta used Psychic. And it's super effective. That's good.
9 more levels to level 100. I am so hyped. Oh, for a second, I thought that was shiny. For a second, it's not, but... Oh.
Slitherwing appeared.
I still do miss Mega Evolutions, so I'm glad they're bringing it back, because their latest Pokemon game announcements, Pokemon Legends of ZA, they're finally going to bring back the Mega Evolutions. I love Mega Evolution. Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is one of my favorite Pokemon games. And it's just because it is a game of perfection. It is one of the great... It is... Okay, this might be a hot take, but in my personal opinion, I actually think that... well, in my heart, I honestly feel like Pokemon Omega Ruby and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire are underrated in terms of remakes. I know people always say Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver is their favorites, but there's just something about, you know, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire that makes it stand out. I wouldn't necessarily call it a faithful remake. It's more like a reimagining, but it is still an amazing remake regardless. I still would play. I actually still have my I still do have my 3DS.
And it's awesome.
I used to be a shiny hunter too. Man, this is crazy. Believe it or not, back in 2014, I actually wanted to be a Twitch streamer. Because I was actually pretty much there in the early days of Twitch as a viewer. It was really nice. I remember some of my favorite streamers was A-Drive and SMK Gaming 05, I think was his name. And I also did like, what's his name? JYT Gamer, but he now goes by Vanta J. And I also did like some other streamers. They were really old school streamers. I think Otaku Haven 95 was also another streamer I watched back in those days. So I was actually there during the time when Twitch was not saturated yet, and anybody could start a live stream and get views. Now that's impossible, but back in the day though, I would remember that. I cherish those days forever. Because, you know, they were... Well, at the time, they only had around 30 to 60, maybe 100 viewers, which was very small at that time. But now Twitch is too saturated. But during that time, man, they were awesome. Because, you know, they would actually reply to your comments whenever you posted a comment. And... you know, God, that is some, that's very wholesome. I can't believe it. After over 10 years, I'm actually streaming as a streamer. But I streamed too late though, now it's too saturated, so nobody's gonna watch this, but... Man, I remember those days though. I really wanted to be a Twitch streamer. Or a popular streamer. I think A-Drive was one of my favorites because he used to do shiny Pokemon giveaways through Wonder Trading. One of my favorite moments of like streaming. And I always wanted... I didn't have Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire yet, but... Oh, man. I can talk about that all day.
It was a very different time. During that time, anyone could flourish. But now, that dream is dim-witted.
But yeah, though, if you don't believe me, though, I was there during the old school times of the earlier days of Twitch. It was around 2016 when Twitch started to become a bit too saturated. But I think 2018 was like the last time you had your chance before it was too saturated. Because 2018 was when they really started going, I don't want to say corporate, but they changed their direction. Where it was more of like to each their own. But that was pretty much my experience during Twitch during the old days. And trust me, I'm not that old. I was still a kid during that time, during 2014. But I did watch a bunch of the old streamers, though, that are still there now, such as Asmongold. I remember Asmongold, he was usually always up in the front, though, because they will always promote his channel, because his channel was usually streaming World of Warcraft. And there was also... League was definitely big. You gotta remember, if you was a League of Legends streamer, you were going to be promoted pretty much to the front of the Twitch page, because this was before Apex Legends, Fortnite, and all that. Because those games didn't exist yet when I was still around Twitch, or as a viewer, that is. So essentially, if you played League of Legends, you didn't have to be good at gaming during that time period. You just had to be playing the game and enjoy it. Because like Twitch wasn't as saturated, so everyone had a chance to succeed. But I don't know exactly when it changed. I remember when Pokimane was starting too, and a bunch of other streamers. It was crazy. And I remember Sykkuno as well. Sykkuno, believe it or not, that man... Sykkuno, everybody knows Sykkuno as like a very chill guy, but I remember his first Call of Duty videos. That man was spitting. Just say that he had a bit of profanity here and there. I'll never forget, man. Never forget. It was Modern Warfare 3 too, so this is like 2013-ish. But this is when he was still on YouTube though, before he went over to Twitch. Hello there, Pixandle. No, you're fine. I'm just doing a random stream, but yeah, feel free to leave, join. It doesn't really bother me though. I'm just training my Pokemon, and the reason why I'm battling only specific Pokemon is just because they give you more EXP. So, to get more EXP, I just battle these certain specific Pokemon. Well, yeah, though, those were the good old days. I didn't really have a favorite Twitch streamer at the time. I still don't, but it was crazy, man. Like, you're a kid and you're just enjoying watching your favorite streamer, and then before you know it, times fly by and they've grown to like these big, you know, people and whatnot. Like, who's another example? I think Moist Critical is another example. Now, Moist Critical, he started streaming in 2016, I believe, on, he started on YouTube, but I never watched that YouTube live stream. It was Fortnite, I think. But I did watch his old, commentary videos that he did. One of them was, Fallout New Vegas 10 Unique Weapons, which was like... By the way, for those who don't know, I'm a big Fallout fan.
I love Fallout New Vegas.
So... I did watch that video just because I wanted those unique weapons. But yeah, at that time though, I didn't like, you gotta remember, at that time you were just watching videos because you want to find rare weapons. You didn't really watch videos because they were a YouTuber. So what I'm saying is that I didn't know that that video was by Moist Critical, aka Penguin Zero. And then he also made another video that I watched for fun. I think it was something about Assassin's Creed. I believe it was called Assassin's Creed is Haunted or something. This was like 2013. No, 2014, my bad. It was more so of a video insulting Assassin's Creed Unity because it was really glitchy. But yeah, though, it's very interesting to see the rise of a bunch of YouTubers. It is a different landscape today than it is back then. Back then, everybody was just uploading whatever and you had a view. I don't think YouTube is it is harder, but I think it's harder to find your audience. That is the real challenge. Because when you create content, or when I started creating content, I didn't recognize this until later on, after giving up and coming back in a few times. Bad content on YouTube is very subjective. Whatever you like, somebody may not like, and vice versa. So it's not necessarily that you have bad content, that's why you can't actually grow on YouTube. The reason why you can't grow on YouTube is because finding your audience is the hard part. You kind of had to pray that the YouTube algorithm pushes out your video to where somebody finds it. And when I say somebody, I mean the person that will enjoy your type of content. So if you are known for creating AMVs, you gotta hope that you find a fan or somebody that likes AMVs. Because anybody can run into or stumble upon your video, but really the real challenge is finding the right people to enjoy your content. Because, you know, this is something that, it's not something I've learned, but it's something I've noticed. Because a lot of my videos, sometimes they do get, like the ones that get 1,000 views and whatnot, like they bring in new people, but a lot of them don't stay around. It's more so like a one-click wonder. Like I'll just watch this video and that's it. I'm not going to stick around. But that's just what I've noticed. But the people that do enjoy my content, those are the people that actually stick around. Which is honestly a blessing. That's why I don't take anybody or anyone for granted. And to ensure that I actually don't forget, you know, I don't want to lose who I am. I actually are, like, I'm truly afraid of that. So every single week I watch my first video on this channel. And I do it as a reminder though. So that way I don't forget where I came from. Like, if there's one thing I can say to myself is that you will never know where you're going to go in life, but you must not ever forget where you came from. I don't want to forget, because, you know, if I forget, I'm going to forget who I was, or who I am now. But that's just YouTube though. But content creation has changed a lot. Passionate people on YouTube still exist, but you kind of had to, I don't want to say become corporate, but in a way, I don't know, find a way to find a good balance between YouTuber and just making a passion. For me, I just shoot it. I just go all in. I really don't care. Well, I just I just enjoy what I post. I have to enjoy it. Ugh, that is the hard part sometimes, is when, like, people forget. You're like a pool of inspiration. I am just a normal person. Like, one day, my channel and me, we're just gonna disappear from the face of YouTube. Like, don't be don't be so desperate in search of another Kumo Sensei, because they're always all around. They're everybody. There's so many people just like me. That's the thing everybody needs to understand. But it's just that, you know, people, you are too humble. I am not humble, man. That's kind of the thing. I'm not humble, but at the same time, I just treat people the way I want to be treated. Because, you know, no offense to some people, but you can't really judge people based on one YouTube video that's made on them. You kind of had to call into question their actions. But hey, to each their own. Like, I don't consider myself humble, because I feel like everybody just acts normal. Or I act normal, at least. Or I hope I do. I love Relic Song. This move always changes Meloetta's form to the pre-direct. Oh, that's so cool. But it also switches the stats. It focuses more on base attack. Alrighty. But still though,
Pokemon training is still ongoing. Our goal is to get this one to level 100.
there we go, guys. But I do want to make some more YouTube videos though. It's just that I don't have time. And some people did ask where's my vlog, and I have it recorded and I'm still editing it. And let's just say it's just me having fun with my frogs. That's all I'm doing for that vlog though. It will come out soon, so don't be in such a wait. Don't be too desperate. And I didn't really do much commentary in that video, or in video commentary that is, because here's the thing. A lot of my vlogs happen at night when everybody is sleeping, and these live streams, which is why I can't be too loud, because I don't want to wake everybody up. But hey, that's the thing though. I just don't have much free time to actually enjoy the day, because my life is constantly just trying to achieve my dreams and just going out to go get it. I'm still chasing after my dreams. And I know I will have regrets here and there, which I already do, but the only thing I can do is move forward. That is the biggest thing. If I focus too much on the problems that have already happened, then my head will be away from actually finding the solution. So if a problem has already happened, the first thing I gotta do is to figure out how to deal with this issue. But that's how I approach problems though. It's not necessarily the problem in itself, because if the problem already happened, you can't really do much about it then, right? The only thing you can do is try to find the solution. Sometimes it comes to you, and sometimes you cause it yourself. But it's situational, I guess. I'm not here to judge how people live and what comes their way. But life keeps throwing curveballs at me though. I'm getting closer and further away from my dreams, which is honestly surprising. But I don't want to give up on them just yet though. But someday though, I really would like to voice act in something. If I can just get into voice acting, into one role, and complete that, I will truly be happy. And I know a lot of people are asking, have I actually ever accomplished one of my dreams? And yes, I have actually. There is actually only one dream that I actually worked towards and accomplished. And you may have already noticed it, but if not, then I'll tell you. It's dancing. I have nothing left to prove when it comes to dancing. And that is just the honest truth. But I still do it because I love it. For those who don't know, I am a dancer that has been dancing for over 10 years now. It took me about 7.5 years to prove it out. And trust me, it was crazy. Because you gotta remember, before I was a dance instructor, I was a competitive dancer, mind you. And that time was a different time, but I don't want my dreams to give up halfway, so I went all the way and actually competed until I actually started winning. But now I have nothing to prove for dancing, and I actually cried, believe it or not. I cried. Because that was like a turning point. Like a true turning point to where for the first time ever, I've actually accomplished a dream. It took over 7 years, but it was worth it. I know, and trust me, I know a lot of people are not willing to put in 7 years of their life trying to prove, their dreams or something, but I wanted to do it. Because see, here's the thing. If I'm going after a dream, and there were people along the way, and if I gave up on that dream, then I'm essentially giving up on all those people that pretty much pushed me towards that dream. I don't want to let them down. So that's the reason why I kept going. Because dancing was pure accident, but I don't want to let my dance instructors and my now co-workers down when it comes to dancing. because look, I'm not talented at dance. I was not born talented, but it's something I practiced and worked hard towards. I had to work hard and train hard and diet a bit. But someday, though, I think everybody will soon reach that feeling someday when they truly have nothing left to prove. And honestly, the moment when I proved myself as a dancer by winning dance competitions, I thought that was just it. And I was just going to quit, like actually quit. But then, fates of luck, I was recommended to start teaching, and now I'm a dance instructor. And honestly, I actually cried a second time because there is nothing more satisfying than actually teaching the next generation. Like my time was my time, but now that it's over. So what I'll do from what I had from the beginning to where I am now is to teach it to somebody else. And maybe they'll carry on your fire. So, by teaching students some of my dance skills, some moves, my lessons, and whatnot, they've actually carried a small portion of me to them. And so, the feeling is that, I don't know, it feels like this. Like, I will never die. Because even if I was to disappear someday, they will carry on, you know, the next generation, and the next, a bit of myself. It's kind of like My Hero Academia in like anime terms. How like all for one for all is just passed down from one person to the next. That's what it feels like when you're teaching. It's such a accomplished feeling. I truly hope that I can continue teaching though. Because that is a feeling that very few people will ever get to. Because, you know, a lot of people will give up halfway, or they might not make it to that point, you know? So, although teaching classes can be a bit hard, or teaching the next generation can be a bit difficult, it's not necessarily a obligation, but it's something that is somewhat owed. So, I don't know, I'm just giving back to what I owe. Because, you remember, I was taught by my dance instructors. So now I'm teaching a new generation as a dance instructor, which is crazy. It goes full circle. I just hope that they spread their kindness as well. But my stories are my stories, though. It's a part of who I am now. Their stories is theirs, and yours is yours as well. Whether you choose to give up or to move on is really up to you. What style do you teach? I actually have a website. For those who are wondering about what dance practices I've practiced, I actually teach freestyle hip-hop, but I did practice other dance styles as well. So there is a website that is usually linked in my videos, or it may be linked on this live stream. It should be. If not, then let's see. Okay, it's not on here, but it's not in the description, but it is in my about section though. So if you want to go check it out, by all means, feel free to do so. Now, granted, the last time I edited that website was in 2022, and I can't edit it anymore because the domain is lost, but I do have some very easy, simple beginner samples, and I usually just show those to my students whenever I'm teaching, because, I don't know, like, I don't want to show my students impossible moves or moves that are advanced, quote unquote. So I really just do very easy, basic dance movements for my dance samples that anybody can do. Like, anyone can do it. And you may be wondering, like, if you... The thing about teaching dancing is that if you show moves that are too hard to do, nobody's going to do it because they don't want to attempt it. But if the moves look easy, they're more obligated to at least give it a try. That's what I've learned through teaching, especially my first year of teaching. Yeah, the first year was a bit more of a learning curve for me as a teacher. But, like, once you start understanding how, you know, new beginners think, then, yeah. Now, I was a beginner myself at one point, obviously. And I will say this, it was a completely different time period from when I started. Vines was starting to become big, and really, there wasn't much dance tutorial videos on YouTube. And the ones that were on YouTube were only teaching very advanced moves that nobody could do, or people struggled to do. So, I just went the vice versa route of doing very, very simple moves. And I had to teach, and I think the hardest thing of teaching students is how to dance to the beat and how to dance to the rhythm, because those two are not the same. So teaching those to students when it comes to dancing is very difficult, but it's understandable why it's difficult. Rhythm and beat are not the same, by the way, for those who are wondering when you're dancing. So dancing to the rhythm or dancing to the beat are completely different. So if you use it like out of context, it can sometimes confuse people, but to each their own. But you shouldn't really be focusing on dancing to the beat yet if you're a beginner. I think all beginners. Dude, you Japanese or no? Then how do you learn such good English? I mean, your accent isn't Japanese, but your English. Oh shoot! ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。僕の日本語は上手じゃない。I don't want to say I study Japanese because my Japanese is very rusty. Yes, I live in the United States, by the way, for those who are wondering. Your English is just perfect. Yeah, I was born in the United States, believe it or not, but English is actually my second language. Now, I don't want to say what my lineage is or my ethnicities because it won't confuse people, but it makes people kind of think, but my Japanese is not good. That's why I'm trying to relearn Japanese, because it's not great. It's pretty bad, for those who are wondering. I mean, don't get me wrong, when it comes to nouns and stuff, like, I know my nouns of, like, my Japanese. Like, body is karada, like, karada is body, head is atama, mimi is ears, you know, me is eyes, kuchi is mouth, you know, te is hand. But when it comes to, like, sentence structure in Japanese, it's pretty bad. Or my Japanese is pretty bad. I can understand Japanese at times, but if it gets too complicated, or if it's a specific dialect, such as the Osaka dialect, then honestly, it drives me more confused than ever. But I do like soba though. Soba bread is pretty good. Yakisoba bread, delicious. And I know in Osaka, they have this specific dish that tastes amazing. It's dokake, but they usually put it on. I usually just like the dokake sauce and that kind of stuff over beef. It's kind of like it's like a I don't want to say it's like a beef gravy. That's not really accurate, but it's essentially like cow tongue. It's cow tongue, and I don't know how to put it. It's just a good tasting food. And you know, I know they put it on what you call it. Oh wow, they put it on certain foods and whatnot, but I like it that with just over rice. I think that in itself is perfect. Now, I don't eat beef too often because beef is quite heavy on my stomach sometimes when I eat it, especially when I'm dieting for stage acting. So I try not to eat too much beef and pork. So when it comes to protein consumption, my go-to is either eggs, chicken, or fish. Because they sit, like, when they sit in my stomach, my gut does it pretty well. But for some reason, beef and pork is just super heavy on my gut. So I try not to consume it too much. Like, if you gave me 8 ounces of beef with rice, I'm fine. And I know here in America, it's like super heavy on beef and pork, especially, you know, Southern barbecue where I live here. Well, we don't really have Southern barbecue, but barbecue in general. Well, we do have Southern barbecue, just not Texas barbecue, a different kind of barbecue. But yeah, though, my Japanese, but tying it all back together, though, my Japanese is not good at all. If I had to guesstimate my Japanese, it's somewhere between basic and conversational in terms of my Japanese skill level. I wouldn't say it's fluent, though. If I said it's fluent, I'll be lying. I don't want to lie to you guys by saying I speak Japanese fluently. I don't. But as for my ethnicity, I'm going to keep that a secret. Because you guys can figure that part out. We're level 97. Alrighty. Getting closer to level 100. Battling these Pokemon do give me the right XP I need. In 5 or in 4. Not anywhere near that close to Kuso. Kusuo, I would say is more of like in 2 to in 3. Like, it's not good. And trust me, even I forget, and even Japanese people forget Japanese. It's a language where you have to constantly use it. But I'd rather just use my other languages that I have, or just English. Mostly just English, since I live here in the United States. Learning English was kind of confusing at first, but hey, you're a kid, so as you grow older, it just blends into you, so. I swear, English, like, how do you say pear, and pear? Like pear as in like fruit, pear as in like 2 people or 2 things together, or pear as in like cut something, or pear, you know, it's like, whoa. No, I'm still learning. I mean, my English is good. It's fluent, obviously. You can even say native. I think native is more fair. Just say that my English is better than my Japanese. But yeah, come on, I say. My Japanese is not good. Like, even, especially kanji, oh boy, yeah, that is another... Ooh. I don't, man. Studying kanji is a nightmare, and I understand the struggles that most people will go through. But to be fair, though, if you want me to ease people's minds on Japanese, not a lot of Japanese people actually learn more kanji after graduation. That's, so, I think the best way to put it is that people only know what they know. So, for example, speaking English, you only know as much English words as you know. But you're not going to know every single English word. Same thing for Japanese people. They're not going to know every single Japanese kanji. But the common ones that you'll see, those will stick around. You know, like the ones you see in the everyday. So like signs that you see, such as Ginko, Byoin, you know, Kusuri, and those type of stuff. Like those basic kanjis that you'll see on a daily basis, those you'll remember because you'll see signs and posters and whatnot using those kanjis. But like specific kanjis, you'll probably forget or not recognize, like most Japanese people. When you see very specific kanjis, you'll be like, so desu yo ne. But for the most part, though, yeah, I understand anybody and everyone's struggle with Japanese, though. It's not just foreigners struggling, Japanese people struggle too. Trust me. Some are more educated than others. And although they do speak Japanese, you kind of had to question it sometimes if it's fluent Japanese. Kind of like how you hear, like those southern... It's like when you hear an uneducated person speaking English that is born in the United States. You know, how their language is kind of stuttered a bit. And their vocabulary is not that great. And they use a lot of slang. There are some of those people in Japan as well, so... you're not alone, everybody. That's to ease everybody's minds on Japanese, if you're struggling. But hey, to each their own. I am trying to study other languages again, because my father can speak 3, my mother can speak 2. I would like to at least learn 3 like my father, if not more. But that's just my, like, goals in life. The basic ones are around 2K that most Chinese people usually know. 2,000 to 4,000 is the average numbers of kanjis that most people can remember in Japan. But yeah, 2,000 is more on the shorter side. I'd say, yeah, but it is fair though. 2,000 to 4,000 is fair. But overall though, my Japanese is pretty bad. Dang. 2,000? Yeah. We're all gonna struggle with Japanese. But to each their own. Everybody has their own way of learning. I'm not gonna lie though. Even, like, I forget a lot of them. I don't even recognize most of them. If I'm being completely transparent here. Because, like, don't get me wrong, I live here in the United States, so I can't say firsthand, but you really got to see the kanjis at a somewhat regular basis for it to stick to your head. Like Eki, you know, train station. You see that sign every single day because if you live in Japan, you're going to the subway stations and whatnot. So those will stick to your head. Another example is like Densha. You know, Densha is literally train. You know, you'll see that pretty much every single day because even the news talks about trains every day in Japan. And then you'll see, like, you understand where I'm coming from. If you're struggling with kanji, seeing them every day, you'll become used to them. Like, I don't think, like, it just becomes an everyday commodity almost that it's just kind of like, yeah, I know what that is now.
But, yeah, my Nihongo is not that good. Gomenasai.
But I will say this though, it can be a bit complicated, but I think everybody can learn Japanese. If not, then the basics. You should be able to understand or grasp some basic understanding of Japanese though. I don't think speaking Japanese is like the true hard part. I think the true hard part of Japanese is actually understanding what it's saying, as in like the kanjis and stuff, that makes it hard. How's it going? Hello there, Rico. Everything is going pretty well. We're just training our Pokemon to level 100, and I'm also practicing a little bit of voice acting.
Such as this, because I gotta practice for acting pretty soon. So, you're going to hear this voice from time to time.
But overall though, everything is going pretty good. But not for tomorrow though. Tomorrow I gotta start training again. Like actually training with dieting. My dieting is pretty bad. No, it's not bad, but it's very strict. Oh boy, calorie restriction, here we come. What we're gonna have for tomorrow's dinner and lunch, I really don't know. But my proteins, though, for my meals is usually eggs. Eggs, chicken, and fish. Those go pretty well in my gut. I'm just trying to fight Pokemon that will give the right Pokemon for EXP. There's a lot of giraffe rigs here. That's interesting, but that's not what I want. I really just want to battle the Screamtails and the... Oh, there it is. Sorry, Screamtail. I do have a shiny Screamtail, by the way. But I don't really want to train it because I don't know exactly how I want it to be yet. Oh man, I love Pokemon so much. People don't understand, man. Huh, sound like you're a voice changer. For the most part, guys.
I do not use voice changer. All I use is my throat and my vocal range. The vocal range is important, but you have to train it. It's pretty difficult at times. Training your vocals comes with time.
But you have to remember though, even though it does come with time, I'm a stage actor. So, and I did take voice acting classes and voice narration classes. So, like, training my voice. I actually have other vocal ranges too, but they don't necessarily fit this one that I currently use, which is
the deep one.
Because it can change depending on how high and how low
you pitch it.
Because my, it can be difficult, hard, easy, simple, depending on how you do it. But you gotta train it.
training your vocal range is very hard in the beginning, but you'll eventually understand your pitches, though. You sound like a villain. Oh, that part kind of hurts because, yeah, I've been into Pokemon Go recently. Pokemon Go does have a competitive scene, which honestly I did not know, which was surprising for me to hear, but yeah. You sound like a drunk joker when you go higher. Oh man. So here's the thing, when it comes to stage acting, I'm actually stuck being typecasted.
Because I sound like a villain.
So they decided to throw me as the bad guy. So now I'm always the bad guy.
Which is kind of upsetting.
Because I always wanted to be the main protagonist, but it never happens, so I always get stuck into being the bad guy with a twirly mustache.
But, yeah though, I'm usually... So for those who... So, allow me to explain. So for those who are who doesn't know what typecasting is when you're stuck playing as one type of character only. And essentially, that's what I'm stuck at. I'm usually either a side character or a bad guy. But I always wanted to be the good guy, you know? Like, I remember some time back, like, I wanted to be the swordsman who scares away the evil king. It was a kid stage play, by the way, but I didn't get the role as the hero. Instead, I got the role as the bad guy, the evil king with the twirly mustache. But I was super handsome.
And yes, I was in shape.
But yeah, though, someday I would like to actually play as the main protagonist. And it kind of hurts too, because you don't really think about, like, you know, the consequences of playing a bad guy. Because the thing is this, when I'm the bad guy, you're always going to get booed on stage. But, oh man. Especially since I'm an amateur stage actor, essentially. So since I do a lot of kid stage plays, a lot of kids will be booing at me. It kind of hurts. And then I think, man, I might cry actually now that I think about it. I think the part that hurts is like after the curtain closes, like the heroes and their team members, they go up to the front, and all the kids are just cheering, you know. But not for me though. I'm I'm in the backstage, behind the curtains. But someday though, I would like to be, you know, the main character. Someday. But you just have to be happy that you have a role, you know? So if I look into that perspective, like, I'm just grateful I have a role, but it's not very fun at times when the crowd boos at you, because that's what you're supposed to be when you're the bad guy. There's no, like, man, this character is deep moment in the stage play that I'm aware of most of the times. Most stage productions and most stage acting performances, the bad guy is usually the bad guy, and that's it. There's some, you know, stage plays where, or stage productions where the bad guy does have character development, but those come very few and far in between. So for me, my job as the bad guy is to ensure that I'm hated, you know, essentially. Which is honestly the sad part. But, yeah. I'm just glad that I have a role, though. And who knows, maybe someday I will encourage... Maybe there'll be maybe there'll be that one day where, like, a kid will actually feel for the main antagonist. Now, I do get some side character roles as well. I'm not always the bad guy, just saying. Sometimes I'm like a side character, like, hey, yeah, I'm an axeman from the Northern Forest. Just go this way, main character, and then you'll be at the village. So, yeah, that's... No, those roles are okay, I guess. But they're kind of like interchangeable in a way. Like, even though I am in that role, it could have been anyone. At least you know you played well. The more they boo, the more your acting was believable. Yeah, that's what they say. And I'm proud of that too sometimes. So I don't take anything for granted. Never take anything you have for granted, because you don't know when it will come of importance.
It could be now, or it could be never. So always await for that moment, because it could arrive pretty soon. But to each their own. Experiences may differ from person to person, but I can only speak on my behalf. With this voice of mine and my acting roles, all I've done is the best I can do. But one day I shall return as the hero, the promised hero. But for now I lie in slumber until that day comes.
Or maybe someday I'll still be a villain, who knows. I could be a villain today, but I could be the hero tomorrow.
But the anti-hero, those are rare.
Almost to level 100. We're getting there. I just need to battle a couple of more Jigglypuffs. There you go. I mean, they're not Jigglypuffs. Screamtails. My bad.
But yes, this is my voice.
But I don't really want to use my other voice ranges because my other vocal ranges are kind of cringe, like this one here. The southern, I don't know what kind of accent this is. Some people say it's a radio host accent, but this radio host accent is not that great. So the radio host accent, I don't really use too often.
That's why I stick with this one most of the time.
But hey, you never know. Anything's possible here.
Anything's possible.
Or you can sound like a ghoul from Fallout. Hey there, Spoofskin. How's it going? Do you have 20 caps per se?
But voice acting, man, is pretty easy. Well, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it comes easier since I come from an acting background. But yes, I did took voice acting classes, but it was not such a great experience though. But I did talk about that on stream already. One more battle, any battle will do. You're looking at me, Venomoth. I'm gonna battle you. Now we should be officially below 100. Are we level 100? There we go. Alrighty, let's heal and then let's look at our Pokemon team as of now. And then we're going to switch things out and then I guess we'll call that a stream then. But that's still quite a bit to do, so stick around everybody. Alrighty. Here we are. Dude, my hand makes this click sound on first touch while I do push-ups. It doesn't hurt at all, but is it concerning or should I leave it? That is concerning, man. If you're doing push-ups and you hear clicking sounds, it's your joints. It most likely means that you're putting too much pressure on your joints, or your body's not adjusted to it. So you either got to start smaller or you probably got to fix up your form, because one or the other, if you hear popping and cracking sounds on your shoulders, man, that's not too great to hear, honestly. Now granted, you kind of had to figure it out how on your own on proper form, because I suggest that you record yourself doing a push-up or have a mirror and do a push-up to get a basic understanding. And if you know exactly where it's coming from, like you say your hand, so definitely it has something to do with your hand placements for sure. Please work out carefully and try not to go crazy. But this is our current team though. Embor, I love this Pokemon. This is probably one of my favorite Pokemon. That shiny is blue. What a beautiful Pokemon. There's Meloetta. There's our Roaring Moon. Blossom. Our Fluttermane. And then the Gardevoir. But it's coming from your wrist. It's definitely hand placement then. Definitely fix that up. And then everything should work out much better though. I do want to train more Pokemon, but this is pretty much all I have to train for today. But I'm going to give you a held item real quick. Do you have the glasses specs? What was it? Excuse myself. Alrighty, let's see what I can give you. But fix up your form though. That's kind of concerning. I don't want you to get hurt. Like, I really don't. I'm gonna give you the wise glasses. Just boost up your special attack. Go! Oh, I can't summon my Blossom. That's disappointing. Alright, let's go back to Mesagosa, our town here. I really just want to play with my Pokemon. Hold up. Let's go back outside real quick. I'll change the wrist placement then. Yeah, you really want to fix that though. Hearing any popping sound is concerning. Even, like, if I'm doing bench press and I hear anything pop, I'm going to be scared as heck. But for your own safety, though, please be careful. Like, I truly mean that. I wouldn't want anybody getting hurt. Well, you gotta go, you gotta go. See ya, Kusuo. Yoo-hoo, our little Blossom here. God, I love this little thing. It is so adorable. This is why I live for Pokemon. Playing with my Pokemon is like the most fun part, man. Let's switch to Roaring Moon for a second. It's been a while since I last played. Hello there, big guy. How's it going? You look very happy today, my friend. This shiny Pokemon here, Shiny Roaring Moon, this guy took a very long time to find. But I'm truly proud of this one here, though. This is like the beast. God, what amazing Pokemon. Alright, let's switch to Fluttermane. It's been a while since I last seen my Fluttermane. Hello there, Fluttermane. I do want to fix up your EV spread, though. Where is our... it's been a while since we last saw a Gardevoir, too. Go, Gardevoir! You've been doing just fine, it seems. Let me check on my Emboar real quick. I love my Emboar. How you going, big fella? Doing just fine. Alrighty. Let us change position of this team. Alrighty, everybody. I guess I'll call this a live stream for today. I know it's relatively short. This is why I love Pokemon. Look at our Blossom. Just running around us in circles. But, yeah, though. What a great way to end it off. Something cute and wholesome. But I hope everybody enjoyed this live stream. And this type of live stream, that is. Now, I will do more of these in the future. But, for now... let's just wait and see, right? I do enjoy these faceless cams to where I don't really show my face, rather just play a game with commentary, and I hope people find that enjoyable as well. But without further ado, everyone, thanks for watching, and I will do more of these more often in the future, so stick around. And I know they're a bit random, but that's the fun part though, is usually the late nights, because that's when I only have my free time, so yeah, on to bed now. So, as always, thanks for, for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. And, yeah, with that, that's really about it. Yeah. See ya.